Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 Build a Nation story from Bangor City with me, Daniel. We're back for the new week with part 148 today, and we have got a big cup final in a League Cup against Barrytown United. Lots going on in the Welsh Premier League. You can see TNS making a flying comeback too. So if you're looking forward to finding out how we get on, as well as our Welsh Cup tie against Barlowtown, the rivals, and a sneak look at our youth intake preview and the January transfer window so far, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content every weekday from this series at 3:30, and the odd special including our Welsh experiment on Sundays at midday. The latest episode of that one was yesterday, and you can find that series in the eye above. But a massive thank you for your incredible support as always. We're in the midst of a massive bonanza of live streams over on Twitch too, one almost every night over the last few days. There's another one this evening, so come and join us for the start of the Serie A season. We're having good fun over there as well. But let's start today by having a look at what's been happening with us and what's been happening with TNS in terms of Europe. Because when we left you last time, we didn't know if TNS were going to make it through to the Europa Conference by finishing third in their Europa League group. So we'll go and have a look at that. We'll also have a look and see who we've drawn in the last 32 of the Europa League, which will form part of the next episode. And of course, we'll have a look at our youth intake preview, because that is something that could be the most exciting part of the year moving forward. So let's start by having a look quickly at our transfer window. And the reason we're going to do that very quickly is because nothing's really happening. The only pre-agreed deal is that Peter Holding is leaving us this summer for Pompey. We offered him a new contract, but he randomly went from wanting 800 quid a week to £12,500 a week. He signed a 20k a week contract at Portsmouth. Fair play to the kid. I mean, he was never going to make it here. He's a good player, but he's not a great one. And we wish him the best. I mean, he's earned a great contract for himself. We can't begrudge him the move. We have a look at the transfer history for January. Nothing in terms of ins. However, there is one little legend leaving the club. George Wickens, now 34 years of age. We got offered pretty big money. 600 grand up front, rising to 800 grand. I don't think we can turn that down for a keeper that's out of contract in 18 months, declining, and probably not much better than Josh Pugh, who's now our third choice keeper, moving up to second. He's been a fantastic servant, over 200 league appearances, been crucial to so many titles and played a big part in so many big games. But we have to say our goodbye now. He's got himself a big contract at Preston to be a backup keeper, and we hope that pays off his retirement for him. Matej Krau has gone on loan to Llandudno as well. We wish him the best there, the young Slovenian. And he is improving a bit, to be fair, so may well benefit the Welsh League moving forward. The other good bit of news is that Ruben Reyes, our star centre midfielder, has agreed to extend his contract for another year on loan. We are having to pay more of his wages, now up to nearly 15 grand a week, but he's worth every penny. Still up there with Kyle Bulkley as the best player in the squad on paper, and we can't turn down the option to have him again. He's absolutely fantastic. On the negative side of that, Roberto Simancas is out of contract at the end of the year, and you guys keep talking about why I'm a chairman's dream and I don't splash the cash. Let me show you something here very quickly. First choice goalkeeper. He wants a contract of 28.5 grand a week. We have got about 300 grand a week left, I think. 650 grand a week remaining on our wage bill. Can't offer more than 15.5 grand a week. We are being held back more than you thought. It's not just me not wanting to invest. I'd happily give that kid 25 grand a week to be our first choice keeper for the next decade. But we're not able to offer it. It's all great that we've got all that money in terms of transfer and wage budget available. But if we're not allowed to use it to get the next level of player, it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, if we're limited to 15 grand a week, we'd have to have 50 players on that before we actually met our wage target. So I don't really understand. But either way, 2 of the 4 Lone Stars are tied down for another year. That's a positive. And we have found a Welsh keeper we'd like to sign if Simancas chooses to go at the end of the year. Or chooses another club, I should say. Hopefully, his demands will creep down during the year. Some of the youngsters developing really well. Mubarak Whelan doing nicely. And we are looking now at selling a few more of our players. So Stefan Matai wanted again. He may be off. And we're still open to offers for the likes of Scott McKenzie, Kresimir Loza, and also Alex Pena as well. We'll take a look at that towards the end of the window as clubs get a bit more desperate. But for us, a pretty quiet window. Just one goodbye we've had to say so far. Let's have a look at what it's been like for the rest of the Welsh window. Because it's been an interesting month so far. It actually started incredibly slowly. More of the sort of mid-table and bottom half clubs improving, and they were signing decent players, but they were improving slowly. They were getting players on loan from top clubs in the league, and they were bringing in free agents that were available. Then the second week of the window, Barry Town United started going mad. They got in Josh Ridd, an attacking midfielder who looks absolutely brilliant, a former Welsh under-21 international and certainly a good player at this level. Kane Needham came in as well, gives them a little bit of pace and a little bit of quality out wide off the bench, so he strengthened their squad no end. The same for Colwyn Bay with Martin Beckham, a winger and a centre midfielder who just adds depth. He's listed as a regular starter from contract, but he hasn't been starting the games for them, so it'll be interesting to see what his role is moving forward. But mostly, the improvements have been the bottom half of the league. I'm getting a bit frustrated that TNS aren't investing. They're fourth, they've got big money from Europe, but they've not really taken their chance and got more players in. So, could be a big end to the window for them, or a very frustrating season, one of the two. Let's have a look at TNS though, and see what's been happening in Europe for them, because you can see from the top right, they are still listed as in the Europa Conference. And that is because on a thrilling last day of the Europa Conference campaign, we actually went and attended this match. It was agonising. They beat Boleslav 2-1, but it was 2-0 after 40 minutes. I was comfortable, I was relaxed. They then conceded a goal and defended for their lives. Our former player Kian Burgess was at fault for the goal. A couple of the others were excellent, but in Venados, in Dale Clark, they've got quality footballers. And as long as they can keep improving on that front, they're going to do well. And even more interestingly and bizarrely, they've drawn Mainz in the last 32 of the Europa Conference. The reason that's so odd, for those who don't remember from last year, it's the same team that managed to sneak past last season at exactly the same stage. So we'll take a repeat of that, though it's probably going to be a big ask. And to be fair, TNS's squad is still probably slightly weaker than last year. So good news on that front for the Welsh coefficient. It has improved us very slightly. If we go and take a look at where we stand at the moment, there are still other nations doing far better, don't get me wrong. Belgium absolutely flying this year. Ukraine and Russia both starting to catch us. We're still holding our own, and if we can get through ourselves a round or two more, we should be able to keep a top 12 place, because I'd imagine that Belgium have done too well now. Keep an eye out further down as well for the likes of Croatia and for Romania, who are making a bit of a comeback. Let's have a look at the schedule though to see how we've been getting on, which as you can see is pretty flawlessly, particularly at the back. And of course who we've drawn in the last 32 of the Europa League. If we get it back to the month schedule, you were with me at the end of November. We had a decent draw away at Rijeka with a heartbreaking free kick late on and a good win against Hearts. Poor first half performances though. We did bounce back in style though, after getting through against Cardiff Met Uni, a very sneaky 2-1 win in the league. Walters and Lloyd with the goals there. We beat Cameron Town pretty comfortably, Broadbent with 2, Hogan off the bench again, the youngster, and Tom Jones with 1. Then this, a brilliant result away at PSG. Fantastic effort defensively, we nearly held on as well. This was a PSG first team and they were saved by a Mason Greenwood penalty. Stupid tackle from Harvey Lloyd, but he was brilliant aside from that. And a 1-1 draw made up for the half a coefficient point we lost with the last kick against Rijeka. 8 successive wins without conceding after that. 2-0 against Swansea Uni, Broadbent and Reyes. 7-0 against Colwyn Bay. 4 for Gordon, 1 for Jones, Bulkley and Walters. A 1-0 win against Bala. The rivals held us out well. Ludomir Strom scored from the penalty spot. A 4-0 win against Barry Town United. 2 for Gordon, 1 for Walters. And a late Sam Hunt goal as well. Just starting to find form now. Triple 3-0 wins at the start of January. At Bala, it was Loza with 2 and Broadbent. Against TNS, it was Walters, Gordon and Sam Hunt again. Against Colwyn Bay in the League Cup semi-final, 2 for Walters, 1 for Ludomir Strom. And an 8-0 thrashing of Aberystwyth last time out. Loza in form again with a hat-trick. Jones got 2. And then Pena, Morgan and Broadbent 1 apiece for the largely backup side. So we're in a good position at the moment and hopefully we can get through these 2 cup games without much incident. And then next month's a pretty big one for us. We've got our 2 closest competitors to start the month in the league in Barry and Cardiff Met Uni. The next episode will be a big SPFL Trust Trophy semi-final away at Livingston and the first leg of our Europa League knockout game against Real Sociedad. A very good side, a tough one at this level. If we look at Jose Maria Paz, their star player, he's basically a more technical version of Kyo Bulkley and rated just as well. For now though, let's go and get into our first game, a League Cup final against Barry Town United. Between the matches, as promised, we will look at the youth intake preview But let's see if we can add our first trophy of the season first. Everyone's pretty well rested, so this is our first 11 for today. Let me swap Reyes and Hunt back to their preferred sides, as it's Tsimikas in goal, McDonald and Bektas returning from injury at fullback, with Whittaker and Kelly at centre-half. They've been swapped as well there. Lloyd, Reyes, Hunt and Bulkley the midfield diamond, Gordon and Walters up front. And in quality and youth on the bench in equal measure, if we need them to save the day. Let's go and crack on with it. It should be a fantastic match. And even though Barrytown United have significantly improved this year, it should really be a Bangor City victory. Just the 10 changes from Aberystwyth, every single outfield player. And just to show you the sign of strength in this Barrytown United side, the likes of Dean Rogers, our former player, on the bench now. And in that starting lineup, they've got quality. They're still missing a few today, but Bridgman's coming from Cardiff Met Uni, the top scorer in the league. Cardiff Met Uni have managed to get other better players in. So they're actually handing it about pretty nicely now, and there's good attacking threats at all of the top 4 clubs. So let's go and tell the lads to prove a point. It should still be a comfortable victory, because at the back, nobody can cope with our pace and our quality going forward. As early doors, we've got a throw on the right with Kai McDonald, who goes short to Reyes, into Harvey Lloyd, and back to Whittaker on halfway. Chips it wide. Harry Gray beats Reyes in the air. Really want him to sign professional terms there. He's still on an amateur contract, and it would change the game if he did, as we're in immediately there. Brilliant slicing ball from Kai McDonald. We know he's staying next season. And Lloyd Golding, not been in the best form recently. You saw in the recent roundup of fixtures. Kane Walters that's been scoring most of the goals. But Golding changes that here. 1-0 Bangor City. Big player, big game occasion. Into the box for Lloyd Kelly. Jerome Kelly puts it in, nearly called him Lloyd Kelly there for some reason. Lovely set-piece delivery from Kyo Bulkley again. We know the quality he's got. And it's 2-0 Bangor City. Barrytown United. I guess they haven't had a big occasion for a few years. Maybe that's why they're struggling a bit. Here's their star man though, Sean Walters on the right. Scored all their goals in Europe this season. But his cross is intercepted. Bulkley goes long. Gordon's in. This is going to be an absolute slaughtering. 3-0 with 11 minutes gone. Barrytown United just haven't turned up. And nobody can afford that against us. We've not had that many brilliant wins against the top sides this year. This one's certainly going to be one of them though. 3 shots on target, 3 goals. And the corner kick's headed away. Sam Hunt picks it up on the left-hand side. Cuts it to Harvey Lloyd. Loads of men up in support. Whittaker finds Reyes. Bulkley to Gordon. Plays a 1-2 into Lloyd Gordon. Almost got his hat-trick within quarter of an hour. Good save, Harry Morgan. Remains just 3. Well, thankfully for Barrytown United, it's very much calmed down since. We've dominated the possession. We haven't actually had a huge number of shots. We normally have 10, 15, a half against some of these sides. But Barry are a better team. They got beaten by a very ruthless 15 minutes and didn't start the game well. And you can't afford that against us. It has been a very quiet game since though. I think we'll take a 3 or 4-0 win. And hopefully we can bring on a couple of those younger subs as well. If we can get on Mubarak Whelan, if we can give Tom Jones another cup final, that'd certainly be a nice moment for us. As well as resting some of these other lads. As Tsimikas has a goal kick short to Whittaker. Got a man over on the right in Kai McDonald. Into midfield after it randomly cut away for the pass. And Hunt finds Bulkley up towards Gordon, who's intercepted by the left-back Anderson. Harry Gray plays wide to Needham, the new signing. We said he'd added a bit of pace out wide here. Reyes equal to it though. Excellent defending from the Spaniard. Whittaker gets it to Harvey Lloyd. On a yellow card, probably someone will have to look after in this game. As Tsimikas gets it in goal, we're keeping it comfortably. We're playing lovely football. And Jerome Kelly, one of the goal scorers, goes wide to Bektas. Barely had a test on his return from injury, and he might have an assist here as he puts in Kane Walters. And he is on fire at the moment. No missing those for Kane Walters, the superstar. It's 4-0 Bangor City, and at the hour mark, we might as well just go and rest a few. We'll be back in a moment once we've made the changes. Well, the changes have temporarily ended the game as a spectacle, but with 7 minutes to go, we're back on the attack. Nenov came on for Bektas. He's getting a rest after an hour on his return from injury. Nenov playing out of position, but still competent on the left. Switched it there to Lloyd Gordon. We got Tom Jones on as well, gave Reyes a rest, and Harvey Lloyd on a booking, replaced by Mubarak Whelan. Jerome Kelly just stepping up to centre midfield. A brilliant performance though, a really comfortable cup final win. So it's another ball in from Bulkley to Whittaker. What delivery Kyo Bulkley's got. We're going to miss him so much. He's a fantastic player, but he will eventually force his way out of this club. Still got 3.5 years on his contract for now though, so hopefully we keep hold of him for the majority of the save. Fantastic effort though. We're going to lift our first trophy of the season. It's thoroughly deserved on the day. But if you take out the first 15 minutes, Barry are competing better than before. We are certainly getting there. Is that Simancas who's captain now because Lloyd went off? It is. Roberto Simancas will lift the Welsh League Cup. And Bangor City continue the dominance. The other sides are slowly getting closer. We've had a lot more tight wins this season, but they're not there yet. And for the moment, we continue to enjoy our dominance. We'll be back in a second for the Welsh Cup tie against our rivals Bala, who have given us our hardest games this year. We'll take a look at that youth intake preview as well. I'll see you in a moment. Well, another week down in the Welsh transfer window. Any excitement? Let's go and have a quick glance. Wow, literally one signing. That's embarrassing. For Newtown is the one signing. I mean, they've improved a bit to be fair, but what are the rest of the league doing? However, we talked about the good performance to win our first trophy of the season. Let's get on to the positives yet further. Youth candidates. This is a terrific group of players coming through and has the potential to be a golden generation for the club. Now, last season, we had Mubarak Whelan in our youth intake and a few other decent players. And we weren't told this was going to be a golden generation. If this intake's better than that, we could be able to sell a whole backup team in the next year or two. I'm looking forward to it. Fingers crossed. In terms of the squad, one bit of drama to happen. Martin Pasiarek recalled from Brentford because he wasn't playing enough football. So that means that he's played for 2 clubs this year because he made 1 league appearance for us. So I don't think he can go anywhere, but it still says Crewe want him. So I'll be interested to see how that pans out. Maybe we loan him back for the rest of the year. We're playing Bala today. Massive games really in the Welsh Cup, the way the draws worked out. Cardiff met Uni v TNS, us v Bala. I mean, lots of the top sides playing each other. Even Barry have drawn top tier opposition, as of Colwyn Bay. So we could see some smaller sides in the later rounds. But let's go and get through our team for today. I don't think there's going to be much, if any, changes at all. The only one I'm tempted to bring in is Tom Jones, but for the cup game, probably not so much of a worry. Still only 5 subs in this one as well. So do you know what? I'm going exactly the same. Same 11, same 16 that won the League Cup final. Let's hope they dispatch Bala, who have given us some tough games this year in the Welsh Cup 4th round. Bala are definitely a rapidly improving team. We've told the lads to do the same as the last game. Prove a point, pick up where you left off, and go out there and put in a performance. The last 2 games against Bala, I think, were 1-0 and 2-0. So they've certainly given us some good games this year. Let's just see how this one pans out. Hopefully it's comfortable, if nothing else. We're nearly a quarter of an hour gone. We're back for the first highlight, and it's a throw-in for our visitors. Albeit, it's been given away to McDonald, and Walters in from a straight ball over the top. Kane Walters does not miss at the moment. 29th for the season. Can he get to 30 today? What a fantastic display. 1 counter-attack and we can change a game. That quality we've got up front is just, it's unmatched. We've got pace, we've got quality, and that's what the other teams need. As Bulkley's got a free kick, that is a stunning effort. Tipped onto the bar by Ellis, a fantastic keeper they've signed. And he's cleared away for a throw-in. But a really good start so far. Lots of dominance, but only the 1 goal. And we're back with Lloyd Goulding in the centre circle. Half an hour exactly on the clock. Our visitors win it back though and clear long downfield, but pretty aimless and only finds Ahmet Bektas. As Reyes goes wide to McDonald on the right. He takes on his man, beats him easily. Gets to the byline. Can he cut it back? Brought down, but it's fairly, says the referee. And it's cleared down the left-hand side. Whittaker gets there first though, and is back in the possession of our keeper Simancas. Short to Jerome Kelly. Plays a 1-2 with him. Little bit of a laboured play out from the back there. Had the option to go into Harvey Lloyd. Eventually finds its way out to McDonald. Releases Goulding down the right. And it's back to the full-back again. 2 inside of him. One of them's Ruben Reyes. Finds Bulkley. Brilliant ball back out to McDonald. Beats his full-back into the box. This time it's unfairly that Williams brings him down. It's a penalty kick. Lloyd Goulding, I presume, will take it. And he's got a chance to double our lead. Up he steps. Right-footed. Can he put the penalty away? Been a bit of a mixed bag this year. But that one's in comfortably. Had too much power. The keeper guessed the right way. But he couldn't stop it. 36 for the season for Lloyd Goulding. 2-0 on the night for Bangor City. As we reach half-time, Cardiff Met Uni have got the lead against TNS as well. They're really establishing themselves as the second best squad in the league this year. It's just whether their strikers, because they're on amateur contracts, keep getting poached by the other top clubs, as Barry have done this year to get closer. 5 minutes gone in the second half though, a brilliant display from us. And we're back again, this time with Ahmet Bektas with a throw on the left. Gives it short to Kane Waters, who's dropped a little deeper there. Just turns and runs though. He's got such athleticism. Releases Lloyd Goulding, who peels off the defender. And he smashes it into the bottom corner for 3-1. Excellent effort from Bangor City. And substitutions just around the corner. Subs made as Bulkley puts a free kick in from the right. Deflects off the defender from Matty Whittaker, but it was heading on target. Whittaker given the goal. It's 4-0. He's now partnered by Mubarak Whelan at centre half. Nenov comes on again for Bektas, who's returning from injury. And Jones replaces Ruben Reyes, who gets another rest and isn't in the best of form. As Nenov chips down the line, it's cleared away by Bala. Only as far as Nenov again though. Playing off this left-hand side for the second game in a row. He gives it away to Williams. Long ball forward. Bala can't get there though. Mubarak Whelan away. He finds Kane Waters, who loses out in the air. But it only goes as far as Nenov. So many men in attack. Bulkley releases Lloyd. Tom Jones the substitute. Out to McDonald. 3 in the box. Jones is one of them. Now can he pick somebody out? Back to Bulkley. Into the box he goes. Back to McDonald again. At the byline. Into Kane Waters. 30 for the season. 5-0 on the day. And it is fair to say there are still more improvements needed to some of these Welsh sides. Well, into 2 minutes of stoppage time. Since you were last with me, we've had 2 goals ruled out for offside. Barrytown United have gone mad in their cup tie. And we've won comfortably with a 5-0 victory. Brilliant display on the night. I just hope it's a busy deadline day in Wales. You can see TNS need to improve. Barrytown United have a little bit this window. But nobody else really going big. And there is money in the league now. I'm not sure why it isn't happening. Let's go and have a look at the schedule though for when we're next going to be back. You know when it's going to be. We'll react to the end of the Welsh transfer window, hopefully with a little bit more excitement and drama. And we'll be back after the next 3 games for Livingston away in the SPFL Trust Trophy semi-final. 4th in the Scottish Championship. They've been a tough side recently. Hopefully they'll be able to give us a game. And we'll be resting people for that one as well, because we've got Real Sociedad in the last 32 of the Europa League. So if you're looking forward to it and hoping that there's a dramatic end to the Welsh transfer window, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below to stay up to date and turn your notification bell on to get alerts every time a new episode releases. That one will be tomorrow from this save. We had our latest instalment of the Welsh experiment yesterday. You can check that out in the eye above. And there's a link to the Twitch channel up there too for regular live streams and football watch-alongs. But a massive thank you for watching, supporting the channel as always. It is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next time as Europe is back and hopefully we can do our nation proud. I'll see you there.